defying the limits of vision, professional skateboarder Dan Mancina has become a trailblazer in adaptive sports, using his passion for skateboarding and his journey with blindness to inspire a global audience. Diagnosed with retinitis pigmentosa as a teenager, Dan lost his vision but refused to let it stop him from pursuing his love for skateboarding. Today, he not only performs jaw-dropping tricks, but is also building the world's first adaptive skate park for the visually impaired, making waves in the sport and empowering others to follow their passions, despite any obstacles. Thank you so much, Dan Mancina, for joining me here on AwareNow to share this space and to share your story. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So, Dan, skateboarding is an incredibly visual sport, yet you've continued to push boundaries after losing 90% of your vision. Can you share how your approach to skateboarding changed after your diagnosis and what role your other senses are now playing into your performance?
Yeah, I have to correct you. I'm 100% blind now for about the past at least 5 years, right there, 5.5. Yeah, but it's I mean, it's been a slow process, relearning really just everything, kind of being comfortable with my blindness and different way to navigate the world. Really, it's just, relying on, like you said, all the other senses. As far as, listening and feeling is pretty much the number one that I use. My hearing isn't the greatest, but just really paying attention to what's under my feet and use my hands a lot more, reaching down and touching things and taking in the world through those other senses.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. A whole different way to experience the world, I would imagine.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, certainly you've become a source of inspiration, and for so many, especially through your social media presence. How does sharing, they say sharing is caring, right? How does sharing your journey with the world impact you personally? And what do you hope that your audience takes away from your skateboarding videos and your work in advocacy?
Well, it started as kind of pushing back against the way people viewed me and the, misperception that people have for the blind. I just noticed a way in the difference in the way people treated me and talked to me and stuff like that, going from the sighted world to the blind world. So I didn't enjoy that. I was kind of like, when people first see a blind person, a lot of times they feel, sad or sorry for that person. Like they couldn't imagine being blind, or, how could I navigate the world, or how would I handle that? And in reality, it's just normal to us. You get comfortable with it and used to it, and then you're just the same person you always were. So I really didn't enjoy that. So it was kind of my way on social media to kind of push back against that and do things that you wouldn't expect a blind person to do. It started with, just kind of funny videos, anything from like kicking a field goal to, sinking a mini putt-putt, stuff like that. And then it kind of transformed into skateboarding. I decided to do a skateboarding video one day, and it got a lot of good response, and that was kind of the spark that reignited the flame and my passion for skating, because I had quit for a couple years. A lot of stuff going on with just life and dealing with my vision loss and stuff like that. And but that's it. Like I said, it just started as kind of a way for me to push back against that stigma and stuff that I felt.
Yeah, for sure. Well, and to your point, like you just said, that maybe it's not someone else's normal, but it's your normal now. And so, to share those different ways to live life in different versions of what becomes normalcy.
Mm-hmm.
I'd love to actually, let's pause here a moment. What do you think the biggest misconception that you've come across so far from the sighted world to then this loss of vision? Like, what is the biggest misconception or frustration that you get from those who are outside looking in?
I don't know. I guess it would just be, that we're helpless and can't do anything, can't do very basic things. It's probably the biggest thing.
Yeah, for sure.
The one you face, every day pretty much. People asking somebody else if I need help, if I'm with somebody, I'm like, does he need help? And it's like, you can ask me, but yeah, that's the big one.
So I want to talk about skate park. So building the world's first adaptive skate park. It's a bold, ambitious project. What inspired you to create this space specifically for visually impaired skaters? And what impact do you hope this park will have on the future of skateboarding and adaptive sports in general?
Yeah. Well, blind was the number one, I guess the original idea about it, making it visually accessible to the visually impaired. And then, I've also met so many other adaptive skaters like WCMX, which is wheelchair motocross, they call it. Pretty much literally skateboarding with your chair. So incorporating, some ideas into making it more accessible for that as well. But it's, started 7 years ago, and it was just from going to skate parks and seeing the size of features and obstacles and stuff like that. That could be changed to make them more easily skated by someone who's visually impaired. Really simple things, making quarter pipes wider, ledges longer, stair sets wider, stuff like that. And and then I kind of started doing these workshops too long ago, of teaching visually impaired kids, how to skate, introducing them to the world of skateboarding. And I've since done those, all over the US, Canada, and stuff like that. Just having a place where I can do that more frequently, and then a blueprint of a park that is accessible for other skate park design. And I'm going to host, adaptive contests and stuff there as well. And we're trying to do a big push for getting skateboarding in the Paralympics. Our goal is 2028, which is right around the corner. And just give, like I said, an idea of what a skate park could look like that is accessible. Could look like and could sound like, yes.
And I love that. And I love when we talk about, accessible, things, accessible design, but universal design, right? So it's like that there's no barriers for anyone. And why aren't we thinking like that? Why aren't we including everyone in these conversations and these designs and infrastructures? Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. We're actually pouring concrete next Tuesday.
That's exciting.
Very exciting. It's been 7 years or something like that in the making, so it's going to be wild.
It is going to be wild. And I'm wanting to ask, what is your favorite trick? What is your favorite thing to do on a board? I'm sure every skater has one that's their signature thing they like to do, or their favorite move. What is that for you?
Yeah, it's kind of a silly question to ask a skateboarder, but yeah, a little kooky, but it's all right. I mean, it changes, day to day, week by week, month by month, kind of whatever you're feeling. Right now I'm super into a trick called a front blunt slides. Really into that, specifically on ledges. Yeah, and then I mean, it's really just trying to learn any tricks where I like actually flip my board into it or flip out of. Has been kind of my focus, I guess, and what I've been most stoked on and trying to push myself.
Mm-hmm. Well, I appreciate you answering my cookie question. And...
Yeah, that's all right. Yeah, almost everybody asks that question too, and it's kind of
really?
yeah. It's yeah, in skateboard, you know, we don't walk around. What's your favorite trick? You know.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it's like a musician. Like, what's your favorite music? Come on now.
Yeah, what's your favorite chord? Yeah.
Yeah, that's silly.
We're learning though. We're good.
These are the conversations. This is how we learn, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, so in reading some of your posts, interviews, and you had referred to yourself. You said that, you know, before your vision loss, you consider yourself an average skater. How has your journey with blindness shaped your relationship with skateboarding and transformed the way you see your own potential?
That's a good question. Yeah, it's definitely given me more confidence, especially as a blind person. Being just comfortable with my blindness and stuff like that has helped a lot. You know, like I said, I quit skating for a couple years, so it was, you know, getting skateboarding back in my life was an important part of, you know, feeling whole and like my, you know, that's my identity, I guess. So it was a big part of that for sure, and just feeling comfortable as me, and you know, giving me some control and showing, you know, giving me. I always have trouble wording this, but having a way to control the way others view me, as opposed to, you know, feeling sad or sorry for me. They can, you know, be a little bit more stoked. And inspired in some ways, so yeah, it's a super positive. Yeah,
absolutely. You know, so your story is one of perseverance, breaking barriers. I guess my last question for you today is, what advice would you give to someone who's facing their own challenges, whether related to vision impairment or otherwise, in pursuing their passions and their dreams?
It's always, you know, people are going to want to, especially someone who's, you know, was in my situation or something like that. People are going to try to dictate your life and your path in a way that they might feel is a safer way, or a more accessible way, but really it's up to you to decide what you want. You know, don't let people dictate who you are and what you want to do. You know, it's only up to you, and then it's really it really comes down to you actually doing that to feel, you know, the most fulfilled in life. Yeah, and you'll be surprised at what you can accomplish for sure.
Awesome. That's wonderful advice. Thank you so much just for taking this time, Dan, to share your story, and excited to watch you continue to rock it like you do. And thank you for helping all of us just become a bit more aware now. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Thanks. Shout out to all the Michiganders. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.